Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me in this podcast. My name is Brad Dombo, and today we're going to be talking about something that's rather controversial. Yeah, we're going to talk about gender roles in athletics. Yeah, this may set some people's hair on fire. I think it's some interesting comments. Let me first of all address kind of where I'm coming from. So I'm the father of two grown daughters, and I have two lovely granddaughters that call me Papa. But I am concerned. I'm concerned in the future of what women's sports looks like, especially for my granddaughters as they get older. If they want to compete at the higher levels in girls and women's athletics, what's it going to look like for them? Are we going to ask and require these girls to participate and compete against biological boys who identify as girls? And we think that's fair. We think that's equitable. We think that's okay. We think it's a fair playing ground. I don't know about that. I really struggle with that idea simply because I think science has shown that there's a difference between men and women. Oh yeah, there's many similarities, more similarity than are differences. But when you look at the biology, yeah, men are more powerful, more aggressive, bigger, stronger, faster. And I think to deny that is deny the inevitable. And I think we're putting our head in the sands. But my concern is for the girls. What are we doing to them? Yeah, we have transgender rights and equity, and we're concerned about it. Okay. And so we allow genderism to play a part and role in athletics. You know, we have about 72 genders now that you can identify as. Okay. But I don't know if that really should be involved in sports. I think Serena Williams said it best, talking about the difference in men and women, and she's one of the best tennis players that ever played the game. She said she could not compete against the top 250 male tennis players. What? I thought we were the same. She said that men serve so much faster, they hit the ball harder, they're quicker, faster, and stronger. How can that be? You know, I find it interesting, too, that Riley Gaines, in the midst of this whole Leah Thomas issue, admitted that when she swims at the height of her competition, and she competes or swims against her husband, who hasn't competed as a competitive swimmer in years, he still beats her. What? How is that possible? I thought men and women were the same. You know, I find it interesting that the NCAA has policies surrounding this and what they do state. Let me read it to you. It says in 2020, a ruling by the NCAA Board of Governors allows that transgender athletes to compete in the category of their affirmed gender on a sport-by-sport basis. Sport by sport. Why? Why sport by sport? Because we know, and we do know, that if you allow biological men to compete with women in certain sports that require contact possibly, that what? That woman or girl could get hurt? Yeah, they can. So we limit it to certain sports. We think that there's an even playing field. Swimming, softball, volleyball, track and field. You really think there's equity in that? Come on. There's not. I can tell you from a guy who's raised a son and two daughters that once my son hit puberty, yeah, he would demolish my girls. And it's not to say that girls can't beat boys and there's not some strong girls out there, but I'm talking on average. And so the question I have in terms of equity is, what are we doing? I mean, it's interesting when you watch Riley Gaines stand next to Leah Thomas. Holy smokes. You can obviously see that he's a man and she's a girl. Do we want that? Do we really want that in society today? What are we doing to girls' athletics? What are we doing to the sports of girls? Are we actually hurting girls in the name of equality of transgenderism? I think we need to stop and approach this in a different way. I don't know that gender has anything to do with sports, and nor should it be considered in all sporting events. I think we need to take a look at sex and what you were assigned at birth. Because biologically standing, there are differences between boys and girls and men and women. Men will have the leg up and advantage against women and girls in whatever athletic endeavors they want to participate in. I do find it interesting and somewhat fascinating that you can have women who identify as men. How come they don't participate in men's sports? Where are they? Maybe because they know something? Maybe because they know that biologically they can't compete as a woman in a man's sport, even though they identify as a man, because they can't compete at that level and there's not a chance they're going to win. And they might actually get hurt. Maybe they know something we don't. And why is it that men identify as a women want to participate in women's sport? Once again, it's because these young men identifying as a woman know that they can compete at that level and they might, who knows, do well and possibly win. But at what cost? What cost are we doing this? Think about for a second who's really getting hurt here at the expense of transgender policy. Think about the girl who would have had a gold, but now has a silver because a biological boy beat her. Think about the girl who would have had a silver, but now has a bronze. And think about the girl who has nothing and should have had a bronze medal. Let's say in swimming, for example. Wow. Is that fair? Because we have to determine whether having biological boys participating in women's sport is a good thing. Now, you can call these biological boys girls if you want, because that's what they identify as. But I'm not going to go there, because I think we need to look at the sex of the participants. Yeah, you can say to me, yeah, but Brett, you know what? Some girls are stronger than others and bigger and faster and stronger than others. And some boys are bigger, faster, and stronger. Yes, that's true. You do have girls that compete against each other. Some girls are smaller than others. I get that. But we're not talking about a small leg up, are we? We're talking about a significant difference between men and women. And in some case, it's so significant that you put them on a playing field, men can hurt women. I don't think we want that. I don't think we need that. I think we honor and respect women's sports. I love women's sports, and I love what all the women have been able to do in the last 50 years. And for goodness sakes, we need to step back and take a look at it. We don't need to hurt women's sports. We need to allow them to participate, play, and have fun competing against women. And boys who are biological boys and young men, even though we try to regulate their testosterone for a fair competitive field, it's still not fair. And allowing boys to do this, young men to do this, is only hurting girls. So all the advocates out there, where are you, by the way? The progressive left women, the women feminists who scream and yell at the top of their lungs anytime they think there's misogyny in place and a man has a leg up or an advantage over a woman. Where are you? Because these, whether you like to admit it or not, whether you say they're girls, these are men. These are boys. They have testicles, penises, and they have an XY chromosome. And they're running over your girls and sometimes, and you're allowing that to happen? Why, for political sake? Not good. We need to protect girls, protect their sport, and love what they do. You go, girls.